There it goes. All right, guys, good evening. Gavin Sun here. I think we are officially live. I'm in my little studio here, and I'm gonna clean my glasses. That way, because I've got the mic on, so that way I can sit back from the camera, so you can have a more wide, spacious, and less claustrophobic view, all right? And clean my lenses here. Keep this handy right here, because I don't know, it reminds me of my communist homeland, I guess, to have the little red on the scene here. But that is why I left. Hola, todos in the chat room. Buenas tardes. Thought we'd talk about freedom a little bit today because it's the 4th of July in Mexico. Oh wait, it's the 4th of July everywhere, except in Australia. Like, I hear they're in the future. Never been there. Well, there's two schools of thought. They're either in the future, or there's some conspiracy theorists that say Australia doesn't even exist. Anyways, in the USA, it is Independence Day, which is the 4th of July. And I thought I'd talk briefly about this. A lot of you are probably out enjoying family and barbecues and regulations in the public park, reminding you that you have no freedom. But regardless, I do hope you're enjoying your family and your hamburger. Hola, everybody. I see Fitzcam in there, a fellow gringo mexicano. And yeah, I thought we'd get a little serious because I just watched this Trump thing, right? And by the way, there's a chat room. Let me go over here, actually, and you probably can't see me right now, but bear with me. I started a Discord. I started a Discord server, which is basically an ongoing, always open audio and text chat. And there's different rooms within the Escape from Mexico and Beyond server on Discord. And let me see here if I can go to my own live stream and then go to the chat room for my own live stream. If I can figure out how to work this on the desktop, I should be able to do this. Here's the problem. Here's the problem is I don't really know, I'm not really sure. The problem is I'm trying to figure out how to get to my own video over here when it's streaming over here on my Galaxy. All right, so wait, I think I found it. I see you and I see me. There's the chat room. I'm gonna paste a link and I'll post this afterwards to invite you guys to my Discord chat room. Discord is like, a lot of gamers use it, but for those of you that don't know what Discord is a basically a chat server, and whereas the chat here ends when the video is done, on Discord you can log in and people can be active. You can be members of different chat groups and stuff. I hung out on there with a bunch of the auditors from up in the USA last night, and we chatted and got trolled a lot. But yeah, so I'll throw that up there. Check it out if you want to continue the chat after this is over. And we also have specific areas, like I made a photography room in there for people just want to chat about that. I made a specific room for Mexico and questions and conversations about Mexico. There's a general chat room, there's a voice chat room, and there's even a natural healing, like an herbology chat room where we can talk about being kind of independent of the system as much as possible and being self-sufficient con la comida. So yeah, it's all in there. But what about freedom, okay? You have the freedom to go to my chat room. You don't have the freedom to troll it because, well, it's my server that I've set up. But, and thank you, Truth Mercy Baptist, for the tacos. That is 4 tacos. I count in tacos now, all right? You can count in pesos. Personally, I think the currency of Mexico should just be based on the standard of a taco. Like, if you're not gonna have the gold standard, you should have a standard that's a standard. The taco, the hamburger, obviously in Mexico, the monetary unit should be the taco. And basically 1 taco is worth a taco. And now you have a stabilizing influence. Let's not talk economics though. Let's talk about freedom. I want anybody to tell me, like seriously, anybody, do you have any freedom? Like, most of you can't even light fireworks in a lot of the places you live without being fined or having them confiscated by Blue ISIS, who will then take them and use them for their own kids, right? So I watched this Trump pageantry, right? First there was this little parade and I'm like, I hope you didn't actually spend $30 million on this. And then he had this big event tonight. Word is that like the president is charging for you to come to his event, but that's not what really stuck out to me. What really stuck out to me was the absolute mind-bogglingness of the event itself. And I'm just adjusting my light a little bit. Whoops, sorry, remote control. The mind-bogglingness of this event. Because I'm sitting here, first of all, how do you be, I'm watching Trump and I'm like, how can you possibly be that smug? Like, Trump is used to being on camera, I'm used to being on camera, and I don't even know if I can do it. It's like, and he's standing up there on stage and they're playing all these cheesy like military worship theme songs and airplanes and billion-dollar fighter jets are flying over and people honestly seemed really bored. It wasn't quite like North Korea where they have to be really excited, right? Or they go to prison, because we're not quite there yet. But I kid you not, go watch a clip from him standing on the stage behind his bulletproof glass that's all covered in rain, so it really stands out that he's hiding behind this bulletproof glass, covering the stage. And he's up there and he's like, as if they're playing the songs to him, right? Because that's really what the event kind of felt like. It was more like an homage to Fearless Leader than it was celebration of Independence Day. Because it's important to understand, like, I'm being a little flippant tonight just because we're having some fun here, but it's really important to understand Independence Day is not a day to celebrate military, soldiers, and veterans. Okay, Independence Day, July 4th, 1776, signing of the Declaration. I know you guys know this, but the Declaration was signed as an act of treason, right? Independence Day is the day when we celebrate actual patriots committing treason against thugs and tyrants like the King, Donald Trump, Adolf Hitler, etc., right? Those kind of guys. It's the day when we celebrate people going out into the streets and chasing the cops out of town and more that we don't need to go into because censorship, okay? It's the day that we resist with all necessary force the tyrannical government that destroys our freedom. The 4th of July is a celebration of invading ships and throwing tea overboard, burning government buildings, running politicians out of town, and waging war on tyranny. It's a day that we celebrate tax evaders, traitors, and those who flee from police so they can turn around and undermine them in some other way. And I see all these people in the chat room, and it was really sad as I look at this socio-fascist state. But you know what really stuck out to me after this whole like North Korea fiasco where he's all bro-hugging like Kim Jong-un? I mean, North Korea's regime is nuts. It's this huge facade. Everything is a show. Like if you watch some of the videos of people going to visit North Korea, it's surreal and psychotic the way people are treated, all for the glory of Fearless Leader, of the great general, right, who preserves and protects us. It's absolute worship of the state. And that's what Trump wants. That's what he promotes. And to see people who once called themselves patriots stand there and say, oh, God bless America, God bless tyranny, God bless the king, God bless the Führer. And I'm just like, good Lord, guys. Is this how far we've fallen? Independence Day is not a day when you celebrate the army, the military, and the force of government. Independence Day is a day when you celebrate the underdogs doing everything in their power to undermine the force of government using all necessary means to do so. That's Independence Day. So how have we gotten to this point? Nationalism, propaganda. Independence Day is the day when we remember the Declaration. You know the document that everybody likes to pretend they know, but they don't? The list of grievances, the reason we committed treason, the reason we declared war and said no more. The document that lays out reasons for fighting a revolution, reasons like restricting immigration. Yeah, that was one of the reasons. Reasons like troops violating our right to search, to seizure, to speech. All this nice list of reasons. Violating our property rights, violating our life, violating our due process. All the things that are now happening again in the USA, but 10 times more, probably 100 times more than they were under the king in 1776. And people scoff at this, but the reality is the tyranny that people have now is they say we're the greatest and we're the freest, right? I mean, I'm down here in Mako and having escaped the USA, and when you escape New Berlin and you're on the outside, and tell me, those of you that have left, right? Tell me this. You escape the USA and you're on the outside and you're kind of at that point you're like, when you see this pageantry and all this stuff that we've been brainwashed with all our lives, and I'm looking back like, Because that's what it feels like. It's so cringy to watch the nationalism. It's mind-boggling, the brainwashing and the flag waving and the pageantry, and look at the power of the state. Freedom lovers don't celebrate the power of the state. They celebrate the power of the people keeping their boot on the neck of the state and its minions and its enforcers. So what freedom? Somebody name one freedom you have in the USA. I mean, really, what freedom do you have? What can you do that you don't have to have permission from the government to do? Just think about that. The USA is a socialist, fascist state working its way towards seemingly full-on communism if people have their way, if the so-called patriots have their way. Because remember, the foundation of communism is a closed border. That's how the state maintains its power. And once it does that, it is the ascension. The willingness to have a closed, walled-off border is the assent of the people that the state controls all resources and they dole them out to those that are worthy, and those that are not worthy and don't have the papers are to be punished because they're taking from those of you that are deserving. And so as the tyranny, the illegal checkpoints, as the abuse, the violation, the absolute non-existent justice in the court system, as our friends sit and languish in prison, the Schaefer Coxes, the Jeff Winehouses, Joshua Martinez, he's still in jail over made-up charges. As our activists are locked away and even killed, like Lavoie, the blacks, the natives, it doesn't matter what side you're on. As the Constitution is literally a laughingstock of the left and right alike, and people wave a flag and they say, look how free we are. And my mind is blown that we have become this ignorant, this asleep. So look, I just wanted to kind of chat a little bit, throw a little message out there today, because this is the 4th of July. This is Independence Day in the United States. Today is the day that I mourn my country. Today is the day that I remember history. And despite the fact that we were deeply flawed from the beginning, there were men that actually fought for freedom, that fought to limit government, that fought to stop closed borders, abuse of immigrants, robbing of the poor, and for-profit prisons. So today for me is a day of mourning for the country that I look now at from the outside and say, wow, God help us. We've completely forgotten how to love our neighbor. We've completely forgotten what it means to be free. Gracias. We've completely forgotten the principles of freedom. But what's sad is the society, the populace, the flag-waving nationalist, which is another foundation of the communist state, is so completely and utterly brainwashed. They're so existent in a state of cognitive dissonance that when you actually present them the facts, when you show them actual history, actual words of the people that founded the United States of America, when you show them the actual facts, they simply ignore them, pretend they do not exist, and continue in their absolute worship, not of Jesus or justice, but their absolute worship of the state, of the almighty state. It's 4th of July, 1984. So look, I don't know, guys. I haven't seen anybody in the chat. I see you guys talking in there, trying to stay on point here, but haven't seen anybody mention any freedoms that they have. I think we all know better now. You do what you're told, or you have your property taken, your life taken, or alternately go to a concentration camp that the corporations profit from. You ultimately are a slave. You're just on the slave in the open camp, right? The walled off part, metaphorically or literally speaking. You're in the open camp called the United States of America, or you're in the closed camp, the little box, where you get paid 30 cents an hour for your slave labor, and where sadistic guards who couldn't make it in the real world will torture you 24 hours a day. It's sad. It really is. All right, you guys, know when to get out, know when to stand, resist blue ISIS, and thank you all for your support. Join me over in our Discord group so the chat can continue. Heck, you guys can even like suggest ideas and concepts for videos. There's even a place in our chat server over there where you can share your own channels and videos. As long as you're not trolling, you're good. Let's have a conversation. Let's keep the message going, and let's keep pushing. Even if we have to scour the world for a taste of freedom, it's better than sitting at home, waving a flag and blowing up fireworks and pretending that we're free while we live under absolute despotism. All right, guys. Pause.